Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon. Welcome to this October the 12th version of AM on EOAlive, your connection to Eastern Oregon. How are you, man?
It's Tuesday. It's like a second Monday.
I know. And like winter showed up this morning, too.
Yeah, it was cold. There wasn't no walking today. It was cold in my house when I woke up. I left the bathroom window open, by the shower, and that's right connected to my room, the bathroom in my room, and the wind. It was cold.
So did you get up in the middle of the night and close it, or you just froze?
No, I didn't even notice it till I woke up.
Yeah,
it was cold though. I haven't turned the heater on yet though.
I turned the heater on in the office today for the first time. It was just cold.
You could smell it.
Yeah.
When you walk in, you can smell the first time you turn the heater on, you get that dusty smell.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like that smell. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if it's like.
It means summer's going away.
Is that what it means? It's like, yeah, it's gone.
It's like when you first smell fire, like fireplaces.
Yeah.
I don't like that smell.
Yeah.
That just means that it's going to get cold and snow's coming.
No, I was surprised. I mean, it was cold enough to freeze, but I checked the water in the bird bath as I was leaving, and there was no ice on the top of it. I thought I was fully expecting there to be so, but
maybe it just didn't stay cold enough long enough.
Yeah. So, well, hey, so we had a big EOU had a big weekend. How'd that go?
It was fun. The football team lost 34-17. That part of it wasn't fun, but all the other stuff was fun. On Friday there was a parade. I'll share some pictures with everybody. This is I think this is Meisner's car. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. And
then Saturday there was a bunch of different games. I got a few pictures from those too. There was a softball alumni game. The cool thing about the softball alumni game was there was a mother-daughter. There's a daughter on the team, and then that's her mom who played in '96 at EOU. Wow. Yeah. I don't remember their last name, but
they both look like kids.
I know. This one right, the one on the right, she's older than me. Yeah. She graduated.
The one on the right 96. Is the mom?
Yeah, the one on the right's the mom. The one on the left is the daughter. Yep, that plays now. Maddie and Jamie.
Wow.
And then, of course, we had football on Saturday. We played Rocky Mountain. They had the beer gardens open for the first time in 2 years. If people know EOU athletes, there's a lot of alums in that picture. You got Jillian Albright, basketball right there with the white shirt on. Back behind her with the glasses on is Connor Falk. He played football at EOU. He was a wide receiver. I'm not going to name everybody, but you guys get the point. And then we had a rough game. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And then, of course, our very own Megan Demersion was there. She's a EOU cheerleader alum. Yeah. And that was I have pictures from other games too, but I didn't want to give you 5,000 pictures on here. You can go to EOAlive TV's Facebook and look at all the pictures.
And EOU lost though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Did you say that?
Twice.
I don't think you did.
I did. Alex can confirm it. He can hear us. Or the playback.
Yeah. Yeah, he's giving the thumbs up, so I just missed it.
Yeah.
Well,
34-17 was the final. But the alumni game, it was cool. I had to leave the softball game a little bit early to get to football. But when I left, it was like the 5th inning, and the alum were rallying. They were down 5-0. When I left, it was 5-4.
Huh.
And that's a bunch of, so some of them are girls that just graduated last year, but most of them were like at least 5 years out, out of playing. And alum games are always fun.
Wow, good. So we have a keeping it clear with Cody Bowen tomorrow, right?
We do.
Tomorrow at 5:30.
Tomorrow at 5:30.
be sure and tune in. Dane Jensen and Molly the canine is going to be with us also. That's always fun.
Yep.
So,
and we're gonna focus on issues outside of COVID. Hopefully, I mean, that's the plan.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think everybody's exhausted with COVID. Yeah.
I think it's crazy. Like in our town, like nobody cares about masks, really. I mean, to be honest, nobody pays attention to it except for EOU.
Well, but what was funny is that in that beer garden picture, nobody had a mask on.
No.
Yeah.
But in the stands, a lot of people did. And then at the basketball game later that night, I mean, they were announcing it over the PA and handing out masks to people that didn't have them and telling them to put them on or leave. I mean, really. But that's the only place where you really see that.
Huh. It's
different.
Well, yeah. And anyhow, so without talking about COVID, let's not wade into that because it kind of sucks us in. Yeah. No, it's funny the way, you just kind of see some people are really intense about it and others are not. So I was up in Wallowa County this last weekend and it was kind of this, like here, some people are really intense and others are not. So, but on the same hand, I mean, I heard of a 52-year-old woman who we all know very well and is very involved in the community, and she died just recently of COVID. So yeah, it's awful. Well, hey, on a brighter note, let's look at the weather. Look at the cold.
It's nice and clear.
It is clear.
That's why it's so cold.
What a beautiful fall morning. Yeah, the trees are really pretty right now, and
there's nothing real beautiful about as cold as it is. I mean, that's pretty, but it ain't beautiful.
Oh, I think
40
fall
degrees
colors
out there.
Fall colors are gorgeous.
They are.
Well, here,
it means cold.
Let's look at 34.
It's going to get up to 52 today. 52's starting to get manageable.
Yeah.
But 34 is not.
All right. And then tomorrow.
Wait, go back real fast. Go back to a slide. Snowflakes develop. You see that?
I don't. Where's the snowflake? I'm sorry. Oh, here. Yeah, down at the bottom.
Lows tonight. In the lower 30s. I'm not ready for that. No.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
Right.
No.
What about tomorrow?
No. All right.
Lows in the upper 20s, so it's going to get even colder. It's going to be about the same. We're going to get some precipitation tomorrow morning.
I didn't say what's the humidity. So the humidity's higher tomorrow. It's going up.
Yeah, not good.
Winter's coming. I'll bet people I'll bet Rockin' Sons, one of our sponsors, they start getting a ton of snow tire people.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Or you can just be like me and be irresponsible and never take them off.
Well, so give Rockin' Sons a little tip, a little love while we're here.
Rockin' Sons, East End of Adams and LeGrand. Go see JB and the boys. If you need anything for your car, they're certified automotive technicians. They have anything that you need from snow tires to, they'll do oil changes, whatever. And they're a big part of this community. JB does a lot for this community, so go see Rockin' Sons right here in town.
That's right. And then we have a new sponsor that's coming on with us, Cam Designs.
Yep.
And they are. Oh shoot, wrong way. So this is Walmart, and they're right across the street. They're in the veterinary. It used to be Mark Ullman's veterinary place. And I don't know. Do you have that list? Tell us a little bit about them, Kyle.
I do. So they're on the Island City Strip right next to Walmart. They're a full-service sign shop. They offer exterior, interior, and vehicle graphics. They're expanding into hearth products for the home, higher-end wood stoves from several top manufacturers. They do parts and supplies, chimney cleaning and inspection, and it's owned by Frank Shasta and Riley, and they're good people, man, and they're just trying to get the word out about their business, and We met with them last week, and they're just solid. They're funny. They're going to be fun to work with.
Yeah, and Cam, they've been here for a while. It's just this store just has a lot more visibility on purpose for them, and yeah, they're just fun people. They really are, and it's a family-run business, and so yeah, and Frank is. I mean, they just not only, I guess, I mean, I'm a gear guy. And I went back in their shop. You'll have to go back there sometime. And I mean, Frank welds, because I mean, whenever you're doing signs, you got to do the structure, you got to do all of that stuff. And then they have a CNC machine that's very interesting, which is a CNC is a computerized router of metal. I guess the best way to, and so then they can, he can make the 3D sign so that if you took like the True Value sign on the outside of the new True Value store downtown. They brought him a logo, and they cut that out of whatever material it needs to be cut out of, and it's a 3D raised sign. So anyhow, cool people. But this is I guess their main thing right now is that, hey, if you need your stove checked out, it's cold this morning, and you're thinking, I wonder if that chimney is in good shape. These would be the people to call.
Absolutely. Yeah. CNC, the machine they have does wood too. It's not just metal. CNC is just what the machine, how it operates. Like it can probably do anything. I mean,
right. Yeah. Yeah. And we have, it's a
computerized numerical control is what CNC is. I used to operate one when I was in college, at a custom cabinetry shop that I worked at. They're cool, man.
I'm trying to imagine you in a cabinet shop.
Oh, I loved it. It was one of my favorite jobs ever, man. I got to build Dr. Phil's cabinets for his set.
Really?
Yeah, I worked for Medallion Cabinetry, which is like one of the biggest semi-custom cabinet makers in the world. I think they're owned by LK. You know, every water fountain that you drink out of in schools and stuff.
Yeah,
those are LK.
Well, and so then, where was the cabinet shop at? Was that here in Oregon?
Independence, Independence, Oregon. Yeah,
and then they shipped the cabinets to wherever Dr. Phil's studio was.
All over the world.
Wow,
all over. We'd get orders from all over the world. Yeah, they have a full. I mean, it's a full production shop with stain paint upstairs and then assembly line downstairs. But it was cut. Like most of it was custom stuff. Like there was the base stuff, but most of the orders coming in were all custom. It was fun.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, hey, let's bring Alex in, our news director, and have a conversation with him. How are you doing this morning, man?
Oh, I'm good. I'm loving this cold weather. Sorry, Dubsy. It's my time of year now. You had your time.
It's fine. I'll go into hibernation.
All righty.
So what do you like about fall, Alex?
I love the change in temperature. I love being able to watch old classic monster movies. I love the way everything's decorated. I love the change of trees. I love pecan pie. I love Thanksgiving and Halloween. It's the perfect season.
I love pecan pie too, but I don't love the weather. I like Halloween.
Halloween's fun.
So what platform do you watch old monster movies on?
Actually, a lot of them are old public domain, so you download a lot of them. NBC has Peacock, the streaming service, and in the fall they put a lot of the old ones on there too. So that's a free account, so go to Peacock. I guess that's my plug for the day.
Yeah, but how do you get the Peacock account I've had is you have to pay for? Is that? But do they have a free version?
Yeah, there's a free version.
Cool.
Yeah.
You can watch Sunday Night Football on Peacock.
Can you?
Yeah. I think they bring one game a week, and I think it's the Sunday night game, which is usually the game of the week.
Huh. All righty. Well, so Alex, you've been interviewing governor candidates, right?
Yeah.
People are throwing their talk to us a little bit
about
that.
Was my 10th candidate.
Pardon?
Yesterday was my 10th candidate of this election cycle.
Wow.
There's that many people running for governor?
No, that's only half of them. Only half of those declared. There's still going to be several more. So
I didn't realize we had that many people that were full of BS in this state.
Oh boy, yeah. Just go to the Oregon Secretary of State reporting website. If you want to look at the number, it's right there.
Wow. And so are people, can they still throw their hat into the ring at any time? Yep. I mean, up until when?
Yeah. I think the filing deadline is either the end of February next year or the beginning of March, but people can declare up until that point in time.
Wow.
Can anybody just say I'm running for governor?
There are some steps you have to follow. You have to be over 30 to run for governor in the state of Oregon. But basically, any Oregon resident registered to vote here who is over the age of 30 can file with the Secretary of State to run, and they have to file separate paperwork to manage their campaign political action committee. But basically, yeah. It's a little more difficult if you're not a member of a party. If you're not a party member, you have to have an assembly of electors say that you want to do that. So I think you have to get like 10,000 people in one place to say like, yep, let's vote for this guy.
10,000 people?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
It's
a
large number of people.
Yeah. So you're kind of essentially formulating a new party almost for your, I don't know. Yeah. Is that kind of the idea? Wow.
Yeah. How many different parties are there?
In Oregon, let's see, we have the Republican, Democrat, Independent, Green, Progressive, Working Families, Constitution, and Libertarian, and the Pacific Green Party.
So you can, I mean, if you're not Republican or Democrat, you can find your way into one of those parties somehow, right?
Yeah, the minor parties don't have primaries. They have conventions where their delegates get together and choose the nominee. So you'd have to be able to worm your way into that social circle.
Wow.
So what are some of the interesting challenges, without embarrassing someone or without, what are some of the things that you've experienced in setting up these interviews or in the process of doing them?
Some of them are a little more easy to get a hold of than others, especially at the start of their campaign. They've got all this media buzz. If they're kind of a higher tier candidate, everybody's trying to get them on their show. So that's been kind of challenging. The other one is making sure, they're able to make time to be on our show. They're all done over StreamYard just like this, making sure that they're tech literate and able to get that set up.
Yeah. Has there been any like, well, that was odd, or I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you get some really off the wall candidates from time to time.
Yep, you do. You definitely do. I can think of a couple that are kind of like, that's interesting. I think my favorite question to ask to kind of understand where people are coming from and how much they know about Oregon overall is, what is your favorite Oregon historical figure? And usually people either say our late Secretary of State, Dennis Richardson, or Tom McCall, and then only two candidates didn't have a favorite. I think Paul Romero, he's running for the Republican nomination from Roseburg, didn't have a favorite. And Bridget Barton was the person I interviewed this week. She didn't have a favorite. She loves Revolutionary War history, so she could tell you like anything about the Revolution. But you ask her about Oregon history, she's kind of like, sorry, I don't have a favorite Oregon historical figure.
Well, I'm not sure. Go ahead.
I was going to say Paul Romero. That was the guy with like all the flags in the back, right? And just like gung ho, like, yeah. I didn't even know who those historical figures that you named were. Like, I have no idea who they are.
Yeah. I don't know. Oregon history isn't something that's really taught a whole lot in schools, and it's something you kind of have to go and learn for yourself. Oregon has some very interesting figures. Tom McCall, I think, is one that a lot of people really like, late governor in the 70s. He was responsible for making all of the beaches public and for the first bottle deposit bill in the country. So that was his idea. He was the big environmental governor.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I couldn't tell you one. I mean, I've been in Oregon for 20 years and 25 years, and I couldn't tell you a historical figure.
I mean, I would say that Phil Knight would be pretty historical and important to Oregon myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be.
Yeah, like he's probably given more money to institutions in this state than anybody ever.
Was he born here in Oregon?
Yeah, I think he was born in California. I think he moved to Oregon to go to U of O.
Okay.
If I remember right. It's been a while since I've looked.
For those people that don't know, Phil Knight founded Nike. Yeah.
Yep.
So, well, interesting. Well, so Alex, one of the other things that you do is you're a news director, and so you get all the press releases and everything that comes in, and then you work with Megan and Logan to do our daily news roundup. And so let's take a look at the version that actually dropped last night, and it pertains to the news for today.
Happy Tuesday, October 12th, Brett and Doddsy. Here's your evening news roundup for Monday, October 11th. I'm Megan Immersion with local news and weather by EOAlive, your connection to Eastern Oregon, sponsored by EONI and Grand Island Hospital. According to Gabe, the EOA weather kid, the forecast for tomorrow calls for mostly sunny skies with highs in the lower 50s. Northwest winds will be sustained between 10 and 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 35 miles per hour. Overnight, expect increasing clouds with lows in the upper 20s. Tune in to EOAlive at 8 a.m. Tuesday morning for AM on EOAlive. Brett and Doddsy will be joined by EOAlive News Director Alex McHaddad for a lively conversation along with your news and weather updates. If you aren't able to watch the show live, watch on demand on EOAlive TV or listen to our podcast on Spotify. Looking to make friends and try new hobbies this fall? Head to Hobby Habit in LeGrand on Saturday, November 6th for Dungeons & Dragons night from 6 to 10 p.m. This free game night will continue every Saturday. This weekend, head over to Wallowa Land Trust and Enterprise for art in the Wallowas. Artists of all skill levels are welcome to create watercolor postcards, leaf presses, and sketches under the guidance of local artist Jenny Klimza on October 16th. The event is free, but participants must RSVP with the Wallowa Land Trust in advance. Mark your calendars for the 3rd annual Crossroads Oktoberfest in Baker City on Saturday, October 16th. The event features a virtual auction and drive-through dinner prepared by Anthony Lakes Mountain Food Resort Service Team, and other options for additional purchase from Barley Browns, Copperbelt Winery, and Sweet Wife Baking. Tickets are $40 per person, and all proceeds benefit Crossroads Carnegie Art Center. Thanks for listening to EOAlive, your connection to Eastern Oregon. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and download our app for more great local news and shows. If you would like updated announcements about EOAlive content, send your email address to office@eoalive.tv. Enjoy your week and see you tomorrow for another evening news roundup.
Yeah, somebody commented that she does talk fast. Yeah, and we're trying to help her with that. In fact, we have a Zoom meeting here in just a little bit to talk about what the direction that the news roundup is going to go. And so, yeah, so thank you for that input.
Yeah, and we can take a little bit of the blame for that because in the beginning we pushed her to speak fast. Like we want a really fast pace. Like we want to get through
we kind of we need the feedback because we kind of I mean when I first thought, it's like, wow, she is too fast for my old ears. But at the same time, people won't. I mean, if it's over 2 minutes, they'll just tune out. They won't listen to it or watch it. And so
it's all about finding the groove. Right?
Yeah,
you don't want somebody that talks like this.
Looks like if I had to read it, it would be like a 3 minutes. If I had to read it, it'd be a 3.5 minute script. Yeah. So
we're giving my brother-in-law another free plug right there.
I know. Well, it was kind of funny. It's like, I don't know, Dungeons. That kind of shows you a little bit how desperate we are for news. And we put that thing landed on your desk because I told Kyle to put it there. But it's like. But yeah, it's like a Dungeons and Dragons thing. Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Did I tell that story last time about the prank that me and Johnny were going to do on Cher, on his girlfriend?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, no. You told me. I don't.
Yeah. So we were going to, when we were doing the Johnny Ball Game show still, like if anybody knows me and Johnny, we're like the last people that would probably play D&D on the planet, right? Well, we were gonna have Joe like set up these binders with our names on them and like our characters like all pre-made and make it look like we had been coming quite regularly, and we were gonna take Cher to it and just film her reaction because she would have, it would have been priceless.
Like, wait, you guys are, oh yeah,
this is our secret life.
Yeah.
I give my brother-in-law a hard time all the time. I was walking home from work the other day and they were closed, and I pop in there and there was like 10 people in there. And I was like, what are you guys doing? And he goes, oh, we're going to play some D&D. I said, oh, are you the dungeon master? Are you, what's your character name? Are you going to throw me a potion?
Yeah. Oh man. Well, so Alex, did you ever play Dungeons and Dragons? You No.
I've played one, and it was in the last year.
Really?
Yeah.
With those guys?
No. My brother and some of us set up a game we played over Zoom or something.
They got all different versions of it now. They got like Stranger Things Dungeons and Dragons. They have all different kinds
of the show is Dungeons and Dragons.
Pretty much, huh? I've never really watched that show, but I know my son and my daughter when they were here one time, we bought it from Hobby Habit actually, and they kind of dorked out on it for a while, and I mean it was fun. I don't understand it, but
it seems like they used to. I mean, I had friends that played it when I was in college, and they had like handmade maps and they had grids, and they would make I mean, is it more computerized now? I mean, has the game advanced? Do you know? I mean,
I think you can play it on.
What's that?
You'll have to go to Hobby Habit and play a game and see.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they still play it with paper and dice, and they got all these different die. Like there's like 20-sided, 30-sided die. Like, yeah, there's all. I mean, that's the base of the game is rolling. Like you're just rolling for chance, basically.
Right, but I can't. Yeah. I can't imagine that hasn't been computerized. I mean,
no, they have computer versions of it, but people still play the paper version.
Cool. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
Like people still buy the newspaper if they want news, right?
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't touched the newspaper, and I couldn't even tell you the last time I picked a newspaper up.
Yeah.
I used to deliver papers here in town.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, when I was like 14 or 15, I had a paper route. Old school style with the bag that goes over. You have papers in the back, papers in the front, and you're just huffing it, dropping papers off at people's houses.
Okay, so like what's the worst job you guys have ever had? Kyle, you go first.
What, Alex?
Okay, Alex, you go first.
I didn't hear that still.
McDonald's fry cook.
Yes.
Oh, McDonald's fry cook?
Yeah.
Mine definitely has to be trimming sheep hooves. I hate sheep, first off, and my family has a sheep farm here in the valley, and I worked on the sheep farm quite a bit growing up, and anything to do with sheep, trimming dingleberries off of their wool. I hate the smell of wet wool. I hate the smell of iodine. I hate the smell of hoof rot. Dealing with sheep is my least favorite job ever. Definitely.
So you're going to laugh at this. My worst job, I think, was working at a television station when I was in college. Yeah. I mean,
what'd you do?
Well, it's not that. I guess a very close second would be working on an oil rig, and I'll tell you why both of them are, because it's very much a caste system. I mean, on the oil rig, the newest hire is called the worm. Yeah. You are the worm. Yeah. And it's not, and when you go to work at a radio or TV station, I was the weekend camera operator. So you only worked every once in a weekend. And it literally is the lowest of the lowest. And everybody knows that, oh yeah, you're the new guy, and it was, and So that was, and like at so at the TV station, it was just, I don't know, it was just people just treated you poorly. It was awful. So I worked at it, stayed at it for 6 months though, and I was part of it because I was really interested. It was, you know, I was fascinated by the way that they put news together and the way that, I mean, it's like to watch a live newscast is, I mean, it is like watching a symphony orchestra. I mean, it is just crazy, especially back then. It wasn't automated, and so when a commercial rolled in, literally somebody was pushing play on a machine, and it took a few seconds for it to get up to speed, and so you had to push it a few seconds before the commercial. You know, I mean, it was just everything had to be really synchronized, and it was crazy. So
I had another really bad job when I was 14. I worked out at the potato farm on the way out to Union, and I picked rotten potatoes and rocks off the conveyor belt as they're going from the truck into the storage bin. That rotten potatoes they smell so bad. Ooh.
Where was the potato farm at? Where was
right
that?
Out past Hot Lake.
Huh.
You know that curve right there?
Yeah.
You know that, when you go around that like overpass thing, it was right down there to the right.
So where
I think it was called
now?
Tagaris or something like that. Tagaris Farms.
I mean, Barretto headquarters is right there now. Maybe that in that same area.
That same area,
yeah.
I just remember one of the truck drivers that was working there at the time. So this would have been, gosh, I was 14, so it would have been like 93 or 93. I remember one of the truck drivers that was working for the potato farm at the time hit and killed a ODOT worker up on the pass, and they were the driver was under the influence. Wow. I remember that very clearly.
So, Alex, what was awful about being a fry cook?
You know, there's actually a lot of potential for injury if you're doing certain repetitive tasks over and over again, especially handling the vats of chicken specifically that you put into the big pots of oil that are heating. You do that repetitive enough throughout the day. A lot of people actually end up getting carpal tunnel syndrome doing that, and McDonald's doesn't help you with your health bills at all. So they kind of work you until you can't work, and it's like, well, goodbye. They even post messages on the wall like, hey, I know you're asking for some more accommodations this year at our annual employee meeting, but we can't, so good luck. It can be pretty painful if you're working a job like that, and they don't really care.
Yeah.
It's great.
I thought you were going to say like the problem that I had with working at a fast food place. I worked at KFC, and I loved working there. It was a fun job. The thing I didn't like was I was 15, 16 years old, and I had like all the grease makes you get pimples. I hated that. Just being greasy all the time, and I worked in the back, had to clean the floor. In KFC, you clean the floor with a hose and a squeegee and like degreaser because there's so much grease on the floor. Yeah, I mean that's just how it is.
So do they cook? I mean, isn't Kentucky Fried Chicken it's a pressure system and a oil system? Is that part of it?
Yep, yeah. It's a pressure cooker that uses oil. Yeah.
Uses oil, right?
And it cooks. I think it took like, if I remember right, you do like 5 racks, and there was like 4 chickens on each rack, and you put it into this machine. It goes down, and it takes like less than 10 minutes to cook chicken all the way through.
Wow! And it was raw or frozen? I mean, thawed or what?
Raw, yeah, thawed, yeah.
Huh?
Not frozen.
Wow.
And then the way you make the gravy is there's a filter on the bottom, right? You drop the oil down into the filter, and then you pump the oil back up in. Well, and then it catches all the crumblings, and then you add a scoop of that crumblings to the gravy when you make the gravy. Maybe that's a trade secret. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe they.
I never signed any.
maybe they don't do that anymore. That'd be delicious. Yeah.
I love that job though. The owner, he worked around sports, and I worked with probably the best looking girl in the whole school. There was nothing wrong with that job at all. No, and Chicken Littles, man. We would take the Chicken Littles and dunk them in the barbecue sauce and make Chicken Little barbecue sandwich. I mean, we had
What are Chicken Littles?
It was a little sandwich you used to be able to get back in the day for 39 cents. It was like little square chicken sandwich.
So did you get your food at
we
comp,
got a
or did you have to pay for it?
Yeah, no, we got a discount. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, when you're the cook, there's always leftover. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a little bit of leavings left for the cook.
Yeah.
And this KFC here in town has a buffet, so like there was always stuff left over. I mean,
yeah, they're not open right. There's a lot of fast food places that still don't have their lobby open, and the local KFC is one of them. But it's funny. I talked to some friends who have a little drive-through restaurant up in Wallowa, and they're not driving through. I mean, they've not done the drive-through. That you have to pull up and call, and I mean they really like it better than they do people at the window or driving through. So I think that COVID is going to change some business like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I really like those things. I'm kind of attached to those things. But
there's a restaurant, a group of restaurants in Portland that have basically bought one kitchen, and they have a bunch of chefs in there just making their food in one place, and then they just have delivery drivers send it out everywhere. It's like, Moe's Tacos and Dan's Burgers right next to each other being made in the same place. Somebody goes, "Oh yeah, I want Moe's Tacos today." Well, it's just the one kitchen, and then it gets shipped out everywhere.
So it's like a delivery only. Yeah.
I had the best burger I ever had one time in Portland. Johnny and I were there covering the state wrestling meet a couple years ago, and we were staying in an Airbnb, and we got done late, and nothing was open. I mean, even Denny's downtown right there on Hawthorne, they close because there's so many problems. So I mean, they had a security guard. You couldn't even get food there. So we go back, we start looking through DoorDash or whatever, and we find this place called the Lunchbox. It's a food cart, and they delivered. And man, this burger, there was bacon. I mean, it was a nice ham pressed, juicy burger. But the highlight of the whole thing was it was in between two grilled cheese sandwiches. That was the bun for it. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
The burger was in between two grilled cheese sandwiches?
Yeah, that was the buns. Oh man. Yeah, the Lunchbox food cart in Portland. It was the best $16 I ever spent in my life.
It sounds like something you'd see on Instagram, people making food or something,
Yeah, I thought it was going to be kind of gimmicky, but we just needed a place, something to eat, and it got there, and I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is going to be heaven, like angels dancing on my tongue. That's an ode to Johnny, by the
way. Well, cool. Well, any other jobs, Alex, that you thought were, disgusting that you had to do, or?
Well, the one I guess would probably be more disgusting than McDonald's, but I actually felt really rewarding. My first thing that anybody paid me for regularly was cleaning fish tanks at a place where my dad worked back in the day. So they needed somebody to come in and clean a fish tank regularly, and I don't know, somehow I got assigned that job. So every few months I'd come in and I'd clean this gigantic fish tank, like a big fish tank. And I'd have to empty out the water enough and clean off the walls and make sure everything was looking good, put in the right chemicals. But it was the first, dose of hard work I got in my life. And I really enjoyed it. So even if it was probably the most disgusting thing I've ever done, it was pretty rewarding.
Just think, though, I mean, there's a lot worse stuff that we could be doing, like being a podiatrist or a proctologist or like working in an adult store. Like, that has to be the worst job on the planet. Like, no way. No.
Well, I tell you, working on the oil rig it was good and bad. I mean, it was really fascinating. It was just a few months before I got married, and I needed to make as much money as possible. And thankfully, I had a friend who was the driller, and the driller on an oil rig, you hire crews, and the driller hires you, not necessarily the rig, and the rig hires the whole crew, and so and it's really can be a kind of a dangerous job. But the driller was concerned about my health, and he cared about me, and he was a friend of mine, and so I had some safety or some idea that I wasn't going to lose fingers, because that is something that you lose a lot of in oil. You know, you see, yeah, I've been on the oil rig for 10 years. You know, I mean, they're missing fingers. You know, and so, but the thing that one of the interesting things is that you painted all the. So if you with an oil rig, you work really intensely, probably 30% of the time. The other 60% of the time, the rig is just running. And as long as it's drilling and running, and then everything's okay. But for the worm, which was the lowest position, and the next position up, which is the chain hand, you always have to be working. Now, everybody else is in the dog house or the drill house. They're just kind of taking their time and sitting there the other 60% of the time. But those two positions you have to, so you're either scrubbing dirt or mud off of the rig, or you're painting. And a lot of times it was, you would scrub as much mud as you could off of it, and then you'd paint right over the top of the mud. I mean, it was just a crazy job. So anyhow.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, well, Alex, thank you for what it is that you do. And yeah.
If I may, a shameless plug, anybody watching, if you have news stories, please mail it to news@EOAlive TV. We want to hear what you have to say. So if there's anything you need the community to know, we'll help spread it.
Yeah. And I get a lot of stuff, and I send that. I mean, the Dungeons and Dragon thing is a perfect thing. You know, Kyle had that flyer and he put it on Alex's desk, and what do you know? Boom. So
there it is. Yeah. We like to talk about things that are happening in the community and things of general public interest. We like to avoid putting any partisan or opinionated bent on it. I know in the past, when we had the longer news roundup, sometimes there'd be stories and somebody would want to say something a certain way. I'd go, no, that's just a little too much of our opinion in there. We need to just change the wording a little bit. So, if you have a story to get out and you want just the facts presented, we're your people.
Yeah,
absolutely.
All righty. Well, thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah, we'll just leave him here, and Kyle, give us the.
I got a couple things first.
Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of news, October 23rd, Union County Safe Communities Coalition is having their drug-free run at Mira. You can go to ucsafecommunities.org and sign up. It's a 9 a.m. start, timed 5K and 10K. Get registered. So it replaced the drug-free relay here in town, and it's a good fundraiser for a problem that we definitely have in this community. There's no doubt. And then let's retouch the whole Cam Designs thing. So they got their shop right out there next to Walmart. We're moving into like wintertime, and they're gonna push hearth products. And they have wood stoves from several top manufacturers, and these are like high-end, good, lifetime stoves. And so get out there and check these guys out. They're really cool people. Let's go right into the on this day. On this day, October 12th, 1900, the first modern submarine is commissioned by the U.S. Navy as the USS Holland, named for its designer, John Philip Holland. Huh. On this day, in 1901, Teddy Roosevelt renamed the executive mansion the White House. On this day in 1972, Mariner 9 takes pictures of the Martian North Pole for the first time ever. On this day, in 1979, Boston Celtics guard Chris Ford scored the first 3-point basket in NBA history. But it was also the debut of a guy named Larry Bird, which is one of the greatest basketball players to ever do it.
So question. So did they not have a 3-point line before then? Or did they have it and nobody had tried it?
No, they just that was the first game of the season of the brand new 3-point line. So
got it.
It happened in the very first game. In
Interesting.
2016, James Charles becomes the first male face of makeup label CoverGirl. So the first male model for a makeup company. Let's see. The number one song in the country. 1991, 30 years ago. 30 years ago, Mariah Carey, Emotions. And the old Mariah Carey is so much prettier, like before all the surgeries and everything. This is like young Mariah Carey. Very young Mariah Carey. Hey, BC, what did the 0 say to the 8?
What did the 0 say to the 8?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That belt looks good on you. Positive quote of the day comes from Gandhi. Keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts become your words. Keep your words positive because your words become your behavior. Keep your behavior positive because your behavior becomes your habits. Keep your habits positive because your habits become your values. And keep your values positive because your values become your destiny. And I'm not reading that one twice. That's a long one. But there it is. Boom.
Good deal. All right. Well, thank you, Eastern Oregon. Yep. We'll see you Thursday right here.